persoalan-persoalan lain juga ya, isu-isu sosial, HAM dan segala macamnya. Nah, dan ini space adalah space kita bersama, dijalankan secara kolektif, tidak pakai funding-fundingan, semuanya dijalankan berdasarkan donasi. Kalau teman-teman ada mau donasi silahkan loh, ada kotak-kotaknya di sana. Atau kalau yang mau beli minum segala macam itu juga ada, dari sanalah kita menjalankan space ini. Nah kali ini kita kedatangan tamu dari The Tor Project. Mungkin ada beberapa teman yang sudah tahu, ada beberapa yang belum, tapi nanti akan dijelaskan oleh kawan kita, ada Gus dan Emma. Apa itu Tor dan bagaimana kita menggunakan, apa pentingnya bagi kita, baik bagi aktivis, bagi kelompok masyarakat sipil, dan buat siapapun sebenarnya. Gitu aja sih kayaknya. Saya akan serahkan. Oh, dalam bahasa Inggris sayangnya, ada yang butuh penerjemahan tidak? Sepertinya tidak. Ya. Oh ya, ini sebenarnya hari terakhir mereka di Jakarta, karena 2 hari sebelumnya kita bikin pelatihan atau workshop yang lebih agak in-depth soal Tor. Tapi selain di Purple Code sempat juga bikin di sindikasi, di discuss ya, dan juga tadi pagi di Elsam. Jadi ini penutupannya. Saya serahkan langsung ke Gus untuk menjelaskan apa itu Tor dan segala-segala macamnya. Nanti akan ada tanya jawab ya.
Hello, good night everybody. I'm Gus. I'm from the Tor project, and thanks for coming tonight. And I see a lot of faces that we saw in this week during the trainings. So thanks for coming tonight, and thanks for organizing this, Gita, and people from the Purple Code. I think this kind of initiative is very important because it's a space that we can hang out and talk about not only technology, but also about politics, okay? So, in Brazil, I organized an event that mixed politics and cryptography and technology, and this event is called Crypto Rave. It's a public event that everybody can join, everybody can make activities, propose activities. So it's the collaborative way to organize an event, okay? So you don't need to pay to enter, you don't need to pay a lot of money to be part of that project. So it's a very good thing because I know that many countries like Brazil, like Indonesia, like India and other countries, if you put a ticket fee, that would be a hurdle, would be a block to someone to join the event. It was, I know about this because this was my case when I was a teenager, and I saw a lot of hacking events happening in Brazil, and I didn't have money to go to those events. So the only thing that I could do is to use the internet because it was free, kind of free. So I could use for everything that I would like to do, and I could like browse the web, listen to music, to read about hacking and just kind of things. So I think that's why it's important to have open activities like this and to have open movements that people can talk about politics and not only about one technology like a startup or something like that. So thanks for everybody for coming. So tonight we are going to talk a little bit about Tor, a small introduction. And the idea is that the first thing is about privacy, you know. So I think that like in Brazil, many people here are like, well, I live in a democracy, so why I'm even if I'm an activist, why I should care about privacy, you know? I have all the rights, I have a good lawyer, and that's fine. If something happens, I can sue the state, and that's it, you know? And I will win, and my rights will be respected, or something like that. And this is not the case, right? This could be, people think about that, but actually, the rights that we think that we have, we don't have that rights, okay? And basically, freedom of expression, if we start to publish information that can expose big corporations or the government, we are going to be a threat to them, and we are going to be a target. Okay? So we like to think that we have a lot of freedom in freedom of expression and all these kind of things. So we don't. I don't care about privacy. I don't care about security because I'm safe. You know, I can say whatever I want. I have freedom of expression, and so actually we don't have, because if we publish an article that exposes a politician, if you publish an article that exposes a corporation, we are going to be threatened, or by state, by the police, or by this big corporation. And this happens not just here in Indonesia, not just in Brazil, but in every country. Every country that you expose the truth, you are going to be a target from these adversaries. So the idea of security and privacy is to avoid to be a target, okay? Because once you are a target, it's too late to hide yourself on the crowd again, okay? So that's why Tor is important, because can help you to protect your identity. So if you are investigating an organization, if you're investigating a corporation, this organization will not know that you from your home is investigating that corporation. And in Brazil, we have very serious cases from journalists exposing the truth, and then basically they have to change the computer, they have to change their passwords, they have to change their cell phones, because people were hacking those devices or those accounts. So to avoid that, we can start to think now, because if we wait to see and we pay to see, you are going to pay. You are going to pay for your freedom. You are going to pay because you get harassed on the street. You are going to pay because somebody is following you, somebody is calling you, and all these kind of things. So security is about the prevention, to prevent you to change your whole life. It's a way to help you to have a better relationship with other people, okay? So this is the most important thing. It's not just about Tor, but about privacy in general, okay? Tor can help you, Tor will help you with a little piece of your digital security. If we think in the road of digital security, we need to think we need to think about our communication, we need to think about our device security, and we need to think about our operational system freedom if you are using a free software or if you are using a proprietary software. And all this kind of small piece of things is part of your digital security health, okay? So we have many things to think about digital security, but tonight we are going to think about a small piece of that, how you browse the web, okay? Can you pass the slides? And again? And again? Okay, yes, thanks. So first thing about Tor is that it's a free software, so you don't need to pay to use. You can check the code because the code is open on the internet, and you can see if Tor project injected a backdoor or if the code is secure. And you can share the code with your friend, you can modify the code, is used to run a network of servers around the world. In this moment, we have like 7,000 relays, 7,000 servers running this program around the world. And all the servers are run by volunteers, okay? So we have volunteers in Germany, in US, in Canada, and other countries. And one thing that is important for us here is that the Tor servers are not very decentralized because the internet is not very decentralized, okay? So the internet is very cheap on the centers of the internet. We like to think about the internet as a decentralized network, but actually the internet has some centers, okay? It's more a polycentric network than a decentralized network. So US, Canada, Europe, they are kind of the center of the internet. If you have an internet connection there, you're going to pay less for using the internet there. And if you live in the global south, the price of the internet is very expensive, okay? So to have a good connection is very expensive. And this is not because, this is because of how the internet works, and it's because the internet is not completely decentralized. The internet has some nodes, big centers that we, from the global south, we connect on that nodes and to use and share files and to connect to the internet, okay? So that's why the Tor network is a network that uses the internet, okay? It's not a separate network. It's a network that is like a layer on top of the internet, okay? It's over the internet. So because the internet is not decentralized, Tor will not be decentralized too. So we have, as activists, we have another discussion to do. It's about network decentralization and internet decentralization, okay? So we need to discuss how the internet works and what we can do to promote a decentralization of the infrastructure of the internet. But this is another topic, another big thing to discuss. So if you want to be part of the Tor network, you can, and it's open, okay? So if you want to help Tor running a server, you can use you can run a server in Italy, and that's a way to contribute to the Tor network. So instead of paying 10 euros in Brazil, I pay 3 euros to run this VPS, this server in Italy. So it's a way to contribute to the Tor network. So you don't need to run in your own country. But it will be very cool to run in your own country because it's a very important thing to do, because you are going to see if Tor is blocked on your country. You are going to see all the problems, you are going to learn all the problems that your country network has about the bandwidth available, how pricey it is to run a server in your country, and all these kind of things. So it's a good thinking, it's a good learning process to run a relay on your own country, okay? The other thing about Tor is that mitigates against tracking. So the websites, they know what you're doing. They scroll the website. The websites can track what you're doing in the website, okay? And this information is used for advertisement, so they know what you're doing on the website to sell this information to advertisement. So they say, well, on the left corner, if you want to make an ad here, you are going to pay a lot of information, because on the left corner of the website is the first place that everybody looks, at least on the Western world. So if you want to put an ad, you're going to pay a lot of money. So this kind of information, the websites are collecting from you. The other thing about why we need Tor is that the surveillance that we have now, we have the government surveillance, we have corporation surveillance, and the internet business model is based on surveillance. And we are going to talk a little bit more on the next slide. And also, based on US. So, and we have volunteers and we have employees around the world. And the idea of this NGO is to support the Tor project, to support developing the program Tor, and also to develop a community. And one thing that the community team is working is to spread the Tor, just kind of information about Tor, privacy around the world, especially in the Global South. Okay? So we are visiting many countries in Global South, and we are looking for partners to run just kind of workshops and just kind of trainings to more people get engaged using Tor, because Tor is fun and Tor helps you. And you can change to other. So we have, well, and you can interrupt me and make questions. So it's more not just me talking. And so the first thing that's very important about Tor, why do we need Tor? We have the Russian government. We have many governments. They are interested what people are doing in the internet, okay? And they have a lot of technology to collect this information and to basically see what people are doing, what people are searching, and they are going to use, and they can use this information to learn if they can learn if you are a person working in the business, a person as an activist, a politician. They can learn what you are going to do, and they can use this information to their own country. So this was happening in 2013. So there is a guy called Edward Snowden. He leaked a lot of information about the US government. When he discovered that the US government was going with illegal programs of surveillance. And one of these programs was basically showing that they were spying on Brazilian government and in the Brazilian president from 2014, Dilma Rousseff, and they were showing like, hey, look what we can do with this tool here. We can spy on president's communication. And on the slide, the example was from Dilma Rousseff, the president of Brazil, and also the Mexican president, and also the German president, prime minister. So they were showing like, well, look how it's easy to spy on these people, you know? And they are basically the most like high-rank people in the other countries, right? And so the government, many governments, they have this kind of capacity. So we have Chinese government, we have US government, and many of other governments are like, well, we are kind of late on this game, and they want to be like this too. So all the governments are running to be part of, to make mass surveillance and to use mass surveillance programs to spy on people and to spy on the other governments. Okay, and we also have the business model of the internet, that basically Facebook, Google, and all these big companies, they are spying on people like every day because they want to, supposedly they want to sell you a better product. So they spy on you and what you do, and they record everything to make a better product for you. And actually, products for you. So one thing that I like to say is that just first adversary, the governments, and the corporations, they are not separated. Okay, they are working together in many cases. So we have like some weeks ago, actually some months ago, people working on Google and people working on other big companies asking their workers from these companies, asking for these companies do not sign and do not develop guns and weapons for U.S. government. So all this kind of strange corporations, cooperation is happening between governments and corporations, and also one program that was leaked by the Edward Snowden was the PRIS program. Basically, the U.S. government was hacking on Facebook, was hacking on Apple, was hacking in all these big companies from U.S. to see what people were talking without passing through a legal process. So basically, they were collecting this information and they are watching what you are doing. If you are using Facebook and if you are using Google, basically NSA could see all this kind of information. So the surveillance network that this corporation built is not separated, is not another thing. It's like U.S. government was also using this kind of information that they are collecting, okay? So you can think, well, Google and Apple, they are good guys and they are not going to give the information to U.S. government. Okay, so U.S. government go and hack that service, okay? So we have that, and we cannot ignore that. This is like, just happened, and this probably is happening now, okay? So if you want to be private, you need to think about, well, sometimes I need to put a lot of work to be private because it's not just about the government, it's also about the corporations, okay? And the corporations, it's very hard to avoid that. They have iPhones, they have computers, they produce many things. So to be secure is sometimes a hard task. And finally, we have the threat from family. So let's say if you are a gay person that didn't come out and you start to searching on your browser, like, well, what is gender and just kind of things. And if your family knows about that, they could see by the browser history and they can threat you and they can harm you and they cannot understand you. So it's also a threat to your privacy, okay? Because you didn't want to tell to your relatives what you are thinking, what do you want, and they discover that. And we also have the same kind of threat from bosses. They could see if you are trying to look for union rights and if you want to be part of a union work, and they could see that information because you're searching on your browser, on the work computer. And also we have bad people on the internet. So basically people that if you say something, people will threat you and say, well, I know your IP address and I'm going to find you and I'm going to your home and I'm going to kill you. So that's why we need Zero Store. Not just because of the government, not just because of the corporations, and not just because of the bad people on the internet, but because of all of this. Because all of this is happening at the same time, okay? Can you pass? So Tor project, we developed a small program called Little T Tor, or just Core Tor. It's a small program that you install on your computer and only do one thing, connects you to the Tor network. And each part of the each part of the server, they only knows, they only knows a piece of information about you, about someone on the Tor network is visiting that website, but doesn't know that was you visited that website. So so we like to say that Tor is a privacy by design, because there is no information connecting what you did on the internet. So that information, who you are and what you did on the internet, this is not connected on the Tor network. It's split between the relays, between the servers, okay? So if you want to be part of the Tor network, you can choose if you want to be a server that only is an exit node. That means that people will connect from your server to the website that they want to see, or if you want to be a middle node or a guard node, and people will enter in your server to connect to the Tor network. Okay, so if you want to be part of the Tor network, like helping with your server, you can choose which kind of part of the Tor network you want to be. And everything that you do on the Tor network is encrypted. That's why we have the icon of an onion, because we encrypt your information multiple times. So when we pass your information through the Tor network, everything is encrypted, and even if the server is malicious, the server cannot see what you are passing, what kind of information you want to visit. Let's go to the other. We can go to the, yes. So I really like this example here because it makes very clear how Tor is different from your internet connection that you do at your home, at your work. So first thing is about if you're here in a public network, site in your location. They know that you are connected in that website. Sorry, they know where you are because you are using the same Wi-Fi. And so we have the ISP, the internet provider. They also know all this information about you. And then we have the private at all. And until 2013, Facebook, Gmail, and all these big providers, just big servers online, they didn't provide HTTPS by default. So you could enter in Gmail and Facebook without using a secure connection. And at that time, many people, if you ask people, well, why you are not using HTTPS? Because you could enter on settings and enable HTTPS. And the people would say to you, well, I'm not a paranoid, nobody's watching me. So if you want to collect a lot of information like using password, you just need to go to a university or to a public conference and open your laptop and use a program to sniff the internet traffic and collect. You're going to collect all the user and passwords because it was sending in the clear test. It was not being encrypted, the traffic. So you could see the user and the password very easily, okay? So you just need to watch a YouTube video explaining how to do that, like sniffing internet package, and you could do that and steal a lot of user and passwords. So at that time, people would say, well, I'm not paranoid. Okay, so after Edward Snowden, the Silicon Valley and all these big corporations, they changed a lot of things. One thing was implementing HTTPS everywhere for everything. Okay, so if you connect to Facebook, automatically change to HTTPS. If you enter on Google, automatically enters on HTTPS. And now Google, if you're searching a website and your website is not using HTTPS, your website will not be very well ranked like on the first page. It's going to be pushed to the last page or to the second page. Other websites that use HTTPS will be on the top of the search of Google. So Silicon Valley are just kind of surveillance from the government, but this is not enough to protect your privacy. Let's see the other. So if you are our location, but they doesn't know where you are and what you are doing on the internet. Sorry, they doesn't know what you are doing on the internet. And then we have the internet, the Tor village over here, and finally we have the server that you are going to connect. The server knows that you are using Tor, but they doesn't know who you are, if you are here from Jakarta, if you are here or if you are on US. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Udah kelar kan ini ya? Udah kelar ya? Udah bisa mulai ya? Kita mulai lagi ya, karena tadi kita break aja maghrib. Dan buat teman-teman yang mau sambil makan, jadi kita santai aja, jadi nggak kayak dengerin kuliah gitu kan. Jadi sambil makan aja santai. Minum, ada air putih di sana, itu di dispensernya, gelasnya ada di sana, tapi minta tolong karena di sini
we are kind of in the same level, everybody, so everybody knows how Tor works and what is Tor. So I want to listen a little bit about questions, about if you want to learn more about how Tor is organized, what we are thinking to work, and if you have this kind of questions, just to see if I talk a little bit more about how Tor internally works, or if you talk about more technical things. So I want to see what kind of questions you have.
Jadi kalau so before that maybe I want to add
Yes,
a little bit in bahasa Indonesia. Tapi tadi udah jelas kan ya, kalau teman-teman sebenarnya dari penjelasannya itu sebenarnya kita bisa tahu bahwa bagaimana sebenarnya internet bekerja kan. Aku nggak suka duduk ngerasa jadi pengantin. Bagaimana sebenarnya kalau kita berselancar lah istilahnya kalau di sini, itu semua aktivitas kita online itu bisa dilihat oleh orang lain, oleh pihak ketiga. Bukan cuma kita tahu, bukan kita sendiri. Website apa yang kita kunjungin, apa yang kita cari, kalau kita pakai Google search itu semua bisa dilihat oleh pihak ketiga. Ya, tadi disebutkan toh ada pemerintah, dan pemerintah itu bukan cuma pemerintah kita aja. Bahkan pemerintah negara lain pun tertarik untuk tahu apa yang kita lakukan. Salah satu yang dicontohin tadi itu yang pemerintah Amerika, pemerintah Cina melakukan hal yang sama. Tadi disebut Edward Snowden itu salah satunya. Salah satu yang dibongkar oleh dia bahwa pemerintah Amerika punya namanya program PRISM, itu adalah untuk memata-matai semua makhluk hidup di dunia ini yang menggunakan internet. Itu ya. Nah ini terus tadi disebutkan korporasi kan, salah satunya ini dikasih dibuka ini ada menggunakan Firefox kan, Lightbeam, dia membuka berapa website yang kamu buka Cal? Ada Indoprogress, ada Tempo, ada Detik ya. Kalau dibuka akan lebih banyak. Ini menunjukin cookies yang ditanamkan ke komputer kita ketika kita buka website itu, dan ke third party mana mereka membagi informasi ini. Kalau kita buka makin banyak website, makin akan banyak lagi yang tracking kita. Ya, kalau teman-teman contohnya pakai Google Search, lalu nyari tiket murah ke Bali, ya kita lagi searching, tiba-tiba kemudian di Facebooknya sebelah kanan bawah ada iklan itu. Travel, tiket murah ke Bali, hotel murah di Bali, makanan apa, kulineran di Bali, semuanya ada. Karena dia tahu kita sedang mencari, kemungkinan besar kita sedang mau pergi ke Bali. Maka tidak cuma tiket yang dia tawarkan, semuanya. Atau kalau kita misalnya kita ke lazada.com, kita search gendongan bayi. Nanti di Facebook kita atau Instagram itu akan muncul juga, nggak cuma gendongan bayi, karena dia merasa orang ini cari hal-hal yang berbau bayi, baju bayi pun akan ditawarkan, per segala macam. Bayinya nggak ditawarkan sayangnya, itu dia. Kalau bayinya ditawarkan makin banyak yang mau itu. Tapi itu, jadi semua aktivitas kita online itu bukan cuma kita sendiri yang tahu, tapi pihak ketiga. Dan ini baru korporasi, pemerintah juga melakukan hal yang sama. Kita selalu bilang bahwa alasan kenapa kita nggak mau menerapkan hal-hal yang begini ya, melindungi privasi, I have nothing to hide, no? Selain itu, aku kan nggak melakukan kejahatan, aku nggak melakukan apa, so aku nggak ada yang aku sembunyikan. Tapi benar nggak sih tidak ada yang kita sembunyikan? Atau maksudnya sekalipun kita tidak ada kita sembunyikan, tapi kan ada itu privacy. Ya, itu kenapa kita punya rumahnya dikunci. Di rumah kita masing-masing kita punya kamar sendiri. Ya kadang-kadang itu privilege ya. Kalau satu keluarga anaknya 3 bisa punya kamar sendiri. Tapi idealnya kan gitu kan. Kalau semua orang pasti pengen punya kamar sendiri karena itu terkait privasi. Bukan persoalan ada yang mau kita sembunyikan, bukan persoalan ada kejahatan yang mau kita sembunyikan. Tapi kita memang punya hak itu terhadap privasi. Ada hal-hal yang kita nggak mau lihat. Bagaimana caranya misalnya pasang eyeliner gimana sih caranya gitu kan amat saja atau kalau kita ganti baju atau segala macamnya. Ini soal privasi. Jadi ini sih cuma mau nunjukin sedikit. Dan Tor ini juga banyak kesalahan yang dianggap oleh banyak orang bahwa Tor itu untuk menerabas website yang diblok aja. Banyak yang menganggap begitu kan? Beberapa waktu yang lalu ada broadcast messages karena ada beberapa website yang dianggap oleh pemerintah sebagai website yang mempromosikan terorisme. Mereka bilang, oh ini pakai Tor untuk dalam VPN atau Tor. Tapi itu dalam konteks menjelaskan kalau diblok bisa pakai Tor. Padahal Tor tidak cuma sekedar untuk menerabas website yang diblok, tapi juga melindungi ini kita, identitas kita, privasi kita, sehingga mereka tidak tahu sebenarnya kita pergi kemana, website mana yang kita lindungi, kita kunjungi. Aku mau nambahin itu aja. Kalau teman-teman ada pertanyaan buat Gus, silahkan. Boleh dalam bahasa Inggris akan lebih baik. Kalau mau bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa nanti.
This might be jumping a bit. You talked about decentralizing the internet. Hypothetically, how would it be possible to design, build, and implement our own vector or infrastructure for digital communication that is completely independent from state corporate-owned vectors such as internet service providers and telecommunication providers? We know Tor handles some of that decentralization through its Onion network, but what about mobile communication? Would we need to start by obtaining and taking control of our own servers and communication towers? And is that enough, or do we need to backtrack and begin with constructing our own language maybe and network infrastructure? What pathways do you see are possible for this future? Thank you.
Okay, so great question. And while we are doing just kind of visiting other countries, I learned about a project called Rhizomatica project. It's a project from Mexico, and basically they are building their own infrastructure for mobile network on indigenous community in the mountains of Oaxaca, in a city in Mexico. So that's an alternative, like to think about build their own network, and the state cannot control that because who made the tower, who owns all the equipments are the indigenous community. So basically what they do is to make assembly, and they make like a crowdfund on the community, and they buy all this equipment and they install this equipment on the community. So the price to make it voice calls to other person on the community is very. I don't think that they have a price for that. They just pay like a monthly tax, like a few bucks to maintain the infrastructure on the community. So if you think about community radio, they are doing that for mobile network, okay? But so this project is very interesting because it puts not in the theory how it would be a community running a telecom organization, but they are doing that so they can see what are the challenges and just kind of things. And I think we need just kind of projects, like to have more just kind of projects to understand how internet works and how it's important to have different kind of communication besides the internet, okay? I don't think that we need to get out of the internet, to exodus of the internet, to leave the internet. I think we need to improve the situation of the internet. We need to discuss uh, about the protocols of the internet, and also discuss about the submarine cables, who owns this kind of infrastructure, basically the private sector, and just kind of things. We need to discuss that. There is an NGO called the Internet Without Frontiers. It's an international organization, and they are kind of discussing this kind of things, okay? And the other thing is that there are some hackers studying how you can use radio sign to send internet packages. So you don't need to have like a very a big and expensive infrastructure to communicate with other part of the internet, okay? So there are just kind of projects, but they are very small because people are studying how it works and how they can do that in an alternative way.
Ada yang lain? Are you gonna show them the form process?
Oh yeah, so we can go to the other slide. Yeah, so yeah, this one. So if you want to use Tor, you can start using Tor browser, and it's a easy way to use the Tor network. So basically, it's a Firefox, like your Chrome, like your other browser, and you can install from torproject.org, and you are going to have some benefits. Like if you enter in our website, the website doesn't know that you are from here, from Indonesia. You can use Tor browser to hide other people see what you are doing on the internet. You can other websites know that you search for something in that website, okay? And they are sharing this information, like Tita was showing here on the Firefox. Like if you enter our website, other websites are tracking you, are seeing what you are doing in that website, okay? So if you use Tor, this is blocked. So other websites doesn't know what you are doing on the internet. And we don't write people think, well, why I need Tor if I have my incognito mode in my Chrome, or if I have my private tab open in here in Firefox. And basically, incognito mode and private tab, they
Berapa bahasa Indonesia aja ya, soalnya ribet.
Walah.
Nggak ngerti aku bahasa Inggris. Kan kalau kita buka
need to.
Halo?
Ya.
Kalau kita buka website itu kan suka ada ditanyain, boleh nggak kita nyimpen, kayak website tadi yang nanya, boleh nggak nyimpen cookies. Nah tapi kadang tuh website-nya nggak kebuka kalau kita nggak klik yes. Nah itu gimana? Apakah masih bisa atau enggak? Apa kita harus klik yes atau klik no gitu aja sih?
Should we click yes or no,
Okay.
or if we can open it in?
Okay, so if there is a web page and the web page asks for you to accept the cookies to enter in the web page, in the Tor browser you can accept that, and the information will be stored only for that session. Only for that session. If you close the Tor browser and open again and entering the website, they're not going to see that was you that entered in the website 2 minutes ago.
Kalau dia masih nggak mau ngasih masuk,
Ada website yang nggak mau ngasih masuk kalau kita nggak bilang yes. Nah itu gimana?
Ya memang jadi sedikit. Kalau dia sih dia menjelaskan kalau
Sebenarnya kita tetap bisa pakai keuntungnya. Kita buka pakai Tor, ya kan? Website itu dan dia nanya accept cookiesnya nggak? Iya atau ya? Iya atau tidak? Pakai aja. Di klik accept, yes gitu. Sehingga semua kebutuhan yang kita, karena cookies itu dibutuhkan untuk mereka deliver message-nya kan yang kita cari gitu. Tetapi dia tidak akan menyimpan cookiesnya kalau pakai Tor, hanya untuk sesi itu saja. ditutup websitenya, sudah kan? Next time-nya kita buka website yang sama, pemilik website itu tidak akan tahu bahwa itu kita lagi. Karena biasanya begitu, kita buka, kita accept cookies-nya, si pemilik website tahu bahwa itu kita yang membuka. Dari identitas online, kita semua kalau pas lagi online itu kan punya identitas ya, ada IP address segala macam. Itu aman, dia tidak akan tahu nantinya sesi berikutnya. Ya, sedangkan kalau kita pakai Chrome atau pakai Firefox, kita accept, itu akan terstore, disimpan oleh mereka.
Okay. The Tor browser is you can download that. You don't need to pay for use, and you can use as your main browser. Okay. So some kind of websites you cannot enter. Or you are going to have trouble to use, like online banking, but basically all the other websites you can use Tor browser to enter, and basically your privacy. Okay, thank you. And basically your privacy will be, you are going to guarantee that you are going to be private all the times. Okay, so some people think about, well, I know about Tor browser, but I think that I should only use for some kind of activity, like I just want to protect my activist part of life. Okay, all the other things, I don't need privacy. I don't need Tor browser. Actually, if someone spy on you, like if you are a target, people are going to spy all your life because they want to see what your weakest link. If your connection with your family, or if you feel depressed, and if you looking for something, people will know about that, and you target using that information. So if you use Tor browser all the time, you are going to be secure all the time. And many times we don't know that you are being a target. Okay, so if you don't use Tor, you are leaking this information, and when we discover that we are being a target and that someone is spying on us, it's too late. Because this person will know, or the government, or this corporation, or a bad person on the internet already know too many information about us. So if we start using Tor browser now, it's not going to save our lives, but it's going to help you a lot, okay? Because all these other people that were trying to track you or trying to see you, they are not going to be able to do that, continue to do that, okay? So, I think that Tor is a tool that helps you a lot, and I think that's important for you to know that how Tor works, like inside, like in the project. And basically Tor, we have some different teams. We have a team that is the UX team, basically a team that thinks about the usability of Tor browser and our Tor project portal and all the other tools that we have. And we need volunteers to help on the design, to help make more Tor beautiful, because ugly, we need to improve that, because this is our main browser now. This is what we are using every day. So
kalau pakai Instagram gitu-gitu bisa nggak sih? Tapi kan
nggak bisa, kalau di website kan nggak bisa. Di website apapun, di browser apapun kan kita juga nggak bisa buka, tapi kan nggak bisa posting.
Tapi Instagram. Kayak kalau aplikasi di HP, apakah Tor juga punya penghalangnya?
So she was asking, but if you use the Instagram, can we use it in Tor? So I was just answering. You can open Instagram like in any other browser, but also like in any other browser you cannot post anything. So she asked, what about in our mobile phone? Will we use apps there? Is there any?
Oh yeah. So you can use Tor on mobile devices, and if you use Android, you can use Tor on other apps. Like you can pass all the traffic from WhatsApp to the Tor network, and you're not going to be really anonymous in that way, but your IP address is not going to be public. It's not going to be public to Instagram. Okay, so Instagram doesn't know where you are basically. Okay, unless if you turn on the GPS and send that information to Instagram, and then the Instagram will know where you are. So mobile devices, they are very tricky to have privacy because it's not only web browsing, it's also the GPS, it's also the mobile connection that you have and track you every time that you walk on the city. So there are many problems in that platform. And the bad news to you is that we don't have like a very good alternative on mobile devices. I cannot tell you, hey, just use that and it's done, it's okay for you. No, we don't have this kind of thing. On notebooks, we have a lot of alternatives, we have a lot of free operational system. We also have open hardware that we can use, open free operational system, so we can have a very big level of privacy on computers. But even if the mobile devices are small computers, we don't have all this kind of privacy on that device because they are not built to be private, okay? They are built to be a spy device that you carry on your pocket and they know everything about you, even if you don't tell to them, okay? More questions?
Thank you. My question is, how protect my cellular number because more website like social media platform must register cellular number in registration account. The second question is, I use Puffin in Android. How Puffin protect like Tor or Tor is better. Why I am use Puffin because Puffin very fast, better Tor. I'm use Tor because very slowly, slow in my phone. Thank you.
Did you get that?
Puffin?
Puffin browser.
Browser, it's also a browser and it's faster than Tor.
I don't know this software. But for your first question, yeah, Tor doesn't help you to protect your phone number because this is another level of security, okay? So let's say that you have like some levels of hardware and software. So we have the first level is the hardware that you have, like your cell phone, your computer, and this is one level of security. This is the lowest level of security that you need to have, and it's the most important level of security. If your hardware is compromised, you are not going to have security using an application because your hardware is compromised. So if you install a keylogger on your device, I will know, doesn't matter if you're using encryption or if you're using a program, I will know what you typed on your keyboard because I have a keylogger learning, collecting all the information that you are typing. In the second level, we have the operational system, and if you don't trust on your operational system, it doesn't matter if you use a secure application because the operational system is going to tell what you are doing on Tor or what you are doing on your encrypted email. And the next, we have the application level that also, if there is Tor browser, there is GPG and other applications. So the layer that we talk about, phone number, is another layer, it's the network layer, okay? And Tor is not going to help you to hide your phone number to Facebook, because this is on the application level, and basically you're informing Facebook your phone number, and Tor cannot help you to hide that information. What Tor can help you is to hide your IP address. So if you enter on Facebook, Facebook doesn't know that was your home IP address or your work IP address. They think that you are a random user on the internet, and you can be, and if you have other account on Facebook, you can log in on Facebook, and Facebook will think that you are not from here, from Jakarta, that you are another user in another part of the world. So that's how Tor can help you, okay?
Tapi kalau mau bicara soal keamanan digital itu kan nggak bisa juga ya kayak tadi dibilang nggak satu layer gitu, nggak cuman pakai Tor aja. Jadi harus dikombinasikan dengan beberapa langkah atau strategi digital security yang lain. Misalnya kalau katakanlah email, kalau kita buka account social media itu kan selalu pakai email juga kan? Emailnya apa? Misalnya aku gitu menggunakan sosial media aku semuanya emailnya berbeda, sehingga mereka tidak bisa mengkonekkan aktivitas satu akun sosial media aku dengan sosial media aku yang lain. Nah, nomor telepon sebenarnya bisa digunakan itu, meskipun sekarang sudah sulit karena kita sudah harus register kan. Tapi ada cara lain sih juga, memang membeli nomor telepon katakan supaya untuk melindungi privasi kita dari perusahaan-perusahaan besar ini kan. Ada yang bisa dibeli nomor telepon yang bukan nomor telepon Indonesia. Nanti kita bisa secara informal kita bisa ngobrol lah soal itu, dan itu cukup murah lah yang bisa dipakai untuk buat kita mendaftarkan akun sosial media sebenarnya. Jadi mesti layernya, nggak bisa satu strategi satu langkah aja.
More questions?
Ada pertanyaan lain?
So besides the UX team, we have the community team that I'm part of. And the community team, the idea is to talk with users, talk with people that need Tor, and explain Tor, make trainings, and just kind of things. So the community team is looking for more people, helping more people to use Tor. So the idea is very simple. If you want to help Tor, basically, one thing that you can do is to help other people to use Tor. So if your family doesn't know what Tor is, you can help them to install Tor. You can install Tor on your family computer. You can install Tor on your friend's computer and tell them about Tor. This is important because you are talking about anonymity. To a network to be anonymous doesn't. If you only have activists, or if you only have teachers using that network, that's not going to be anonymous. It's going to be the network of the teachers that are using that network. Or if it's only activists, it's the network of activists that they are using that network. So in order to have anonymity, we need a lot of different people using that network all the time. So your traffic will be different. Your traffic is not going to be the activist traffic. It's going to be a random traffic from the internet. So we need to have more people using Tor, and it's important not just from here, from Indonesia, but also important to other countries to use too. And I didn't check how many users we have here in Indonesia, but we have in the Tor network like 2 million users daily. So we really want to make more, to have more users using the Tor network, okay? And the difference because Tor is slow is because Tor is passing your connection through 3 servers around the world. And this is one reason that they are random servers on the internet. The second reason is about sometimes the server, they are overloaded, and the Tor network now doesn't have a way to check if a server is overloaded or is not overloaded. So they pass your traffic to a random server, and that server could be overloaded, and then you have a timeout connection. So to change that, you can change the Tor circuit, like just a button that you click and change your circuit, and it might help you to unblock, to avoid the slowness from the Tor. And we have other teams inside the Tor project. We have the network team that they are focused on the little T Tor program, and they want to develop a new filters on the Tor program, like just kind of things like if a server is overloaded, to avoid that server and use a better path to connect you to the internet. So just kind of things that we are developing, but took a lot of work, research, to see if it's not compromising the users. So one thing that's very important about Tor is that it's part of our code of conduct to never harm our users. So we are not going to expose you. We are not going to show your information. First, because we can't do that, and second, if some governments say, well, in order to Tor project to continue to work, you need to put this malicious code inside the Tor project. So if something like that happens, we are not going to do that because we are committed to prevent against this kind of abuse, and we have this kind of ethics to not harm our users. Okay, and we also have a metrics team, basically a team that's thinking about how many users are connecting the Tor network, and if the Tor network is having some spikes, like many users connecting one time, then we can see that the website was blocked in a country because many people start to use from the night to the day to start to use Tor browser. So you can see this kind of graphics, and you can check like how many users we have here in Indonesia, how many servers we have here in Indonesia, and just kind of things. So it's a very interesting project because you can see all this information. For example, how many servers use Linux on the Tor network? Or how many servers use FreeBSD on the Tor network? How many servers use Windows on the Tor network? Okay, so we have all this kind of statistics from the metrics portal, and we are planning to release a new website very soon, like in April. So we are putting a lot of work on that. So if you enter in torproject.org right now, the portal is not translated, and people get confused, don't know where to click. So the idea in the new portal is that it's going to be everything translated, localized, so you can open the Tor project website in Indonesian. So this is going to be very near, like in 1 month it's going to happen this, or 2 months it's going to happen this. More questions?
Ada yang tanya lagi? Atau makin bingung? Enggak lah.
Ada yang tanya online, bukan sesi pernyataan.
Okay. Someone made a statement online.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I need translation.
Hello. Via online, via YouTube comments, someone saying that from interweb, the name is internweb. It is written, trust me, Tor is a trap to the FBI. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have this kind of people saying, well, don't trust Tor. Tor is a CIA project, and if you use Tor, you're going to be arrested. This is actually what the CIA would say to you to avoid you to use Tor. Okay? So it's actually the opposite, you know? So if you're using Tor browser and Tor project, your internet traffic is going to be protected. It's going to be, there is layer of encryptions on your traffic. And one thing that is very important is to see the Edward Snowden information that he leaked in 2013. One of the slides that Snowden leaked, two slides that Snowden leaked, one was Tor stinks from NSA. So basically saying that, well, Tor stinks because it's very difficult to hack the users and to see their real IP address. So this is public. You can search on Google or DuckDuckGo. about Tor stinks, and you are going to see the presentation that NSA was doing and how it's difficult to track a Tor user. Okay. The second slide that you can check is Tor, the king of anonymity, from another spy agency that Edward Snowden leaked, and also talks about how it's difficult to use, how it's difficult is to track a Tor user. Okay. So I think this is the best argument when people say, well, I don't trust on Tor because it's a CIA program and just FBI program. You can check this slides presentation, even though they are kind of late, like they are kind of old, like from 2012. Still, we have like information about what these agencies think about Tor. Okay, so you can see that Tor is not part of these agencies, even though they need to use Tor, because they need anonymity. If they build a private connection, it's going to be the FBI connection trying to be anonymous on the internet. It's not going to be anonymous. They need public information. They need to hide on the information too, to be anonymous. So people like to say, well, this is a part of the FBI and this kind of things, but actually FBI doesn't want you to use Tor because for them it's very difficult to track you. Okay, so they want to inspire you, fear, to say that's not safe, and this kind of thing. And we can check, and this is kind of, it's not new, because that was if you see the crypto wars that happened in the 90s in US and in other countries, people were saying about that from other softwares, you know, like, hey, don't use that software, that encryption is not good. And actually, it was a very good encryption, but people from spy agencies and police agencies didn't want people using good privacy tools because it would make a lot of trouble to them to see what you're talking about online. So just kind of, we call this food, fear and uncertainty and doubt. It's a technique to make people think, oh, well, this is not safe, I'm not going to use, and then I'm going to use my internet connection at my home, and I will open the websites, and I will be exposed. And that's what they want to do. Actually, they want to entrap you, like with this kind of thought, okay?
Ada lagi nggak pertanyaan? Sudah pada pakai Tor belum?
Pakai tapi
pernah. Kenapa?
Lambat.
Itu tadi kan, ya karena memang di rute 3 kali, tapi di Jakarta sebenarnya nggak terlalu berat. Kalau berat, sirkuitnya diganti, Tor sirkuitnya. Ya kadang-kadang ada server-servernya memang overloaded, jadi kita ganti aja. Kalau bisa tahu, buat teman-teman yang belum pakai, bisa di-download di torproject.org ini ya. Dan itu juga ada untuk Android juga ada. Android. Ya memang sudah nggak pakai lagi, sekarang sudah ada Tor browser. Yang Orfox itu udah nggak itu lagi, nggak perlu pakai. Ya, tapi memang dia akan lebih lambat daripada kalau kita pakai Chrome atau apa. Tapi kan buatku sih Jakarta lumayan lah, Jakarta dan kota-kota besar. Kemarin aku pelatihan digital security di Batu aja aku pakai Tor masih oke, masih bisa. Kalaupun lebih lambat iya, tapi itu harga yang harus kita bayar untuk privasi kita. Aku sih cara berpikirku begitu.
Yeah. Good. So we have other projects inside the Tor project, and another project that actually is not inside Tor project, but is like a partner of Tor project, and it's called Tails. It's an operational system that is very secure, because everything that you do on Tails is passed through the Tor network. So if you open your mail client, it's going to pass through the Tor network. If you open your messenger, it's going to pass through the Tor network. If you open your browser, it's going to pass through the Tor network. So everything that you do is passing through the Tor network all the time. So Tails is based on Debian. It's a free software, it's a free operational system, and you can use Tails on a USB drive, okay? So you don't need to remove your operational system for your computer. You can use Tails on your computer, and everything that you do is going to be amnesic. So the idea of Tails is that you don't need to install on the computer. You install on the USB drive, and everything that you do is on the USB. So if you remove the USB drive, there is no trace on the computer, okay? So you can use Tails, you can carry Tails on your pocket, and if you're going to use a library computer or a shared computer, a public computer, you can plug Tails and access everything there. So if you use public computers in internet cafes, and in the university and other places, it's very common to use and to get a malware on your USB drive, or to get your password leaked because someone could install something very bad on the computer. So if you use Tails, you are going to be secure all the time. Okay, so it's a very good software. It's a very easy way to use a very secure operational system, because you also have another operational system, and it's not going to you don't need to leave the other operational system. You can use both operational systems. Okay, so Tails is a nice project, and you can use to have a very strong security on your life. The other thing is that we have is a program called OnionShare. It's developed by a volunteer on the Tor network called Mike Ali. It's a part of the Intercept newspaper, and basically it's a program that you can share files over the Tor network. So everything that you do on the Tor network is going to be hidden, so people will not see what you are sharing with that other person, and everything is going to be secret, okay? So it's a very cool program, and you are going to use your computer, and you are going to share the files over the Tor network, and nobody will know that you share that file with that person. And we have other projects. Some projects are part of the community, like the volunteers that are working for this kind of projects. And one thing that if you want to help Tor and want to be part of Tor, you can start the things like this poster that we have today, you know. So it's important to every kind of help is important for Tor, to spread the information about what's different from Tor and your other browser, how you are going to be secure using Tor browser. Okay, so it's a very cool thing to do, and it's a thing that make the community more diverse, and it's more important to have more people doing that. And we are also, inside the Tor community, we are also doing just training in other countries to help people, journalists, gay community to use Tor, because it's important for them to protect their privacy, okay? In some countries, just because you search something on the internet, you could be a target for the government or for a big corporation. So it's important to use Tor, and if you are using Tor here in Indonesia, you are also helping just people in another country that really needs Tor. So privacy is not just about you, it's also helping other people to use the internet in a secure way. So I'm wearing this shirt here, it's about Anonymity Loves Company. It's because you cannot be anonymous and just one person. To be anonymous, we need a crowd using a mask, a crowd to be anonymous. So anonymity needs more people using Tor. We need more people using Tor to be anonymous, and this is a very important thing, okay? we cannot achieve anonymity just one person if one person is using Tor in Jakarta. We can achieve anonymity if 10,000 people are using Tor in Jakarta. Okay, so this is how this starts. So one thing that we can do is to have more just kind of events here in Jakarta. If we have like just kind of space like the Purple Code, we can make more events like this and to call people to explain Tor, what Tor is and how you use Tor. And this is going to help a lot of people. And well, I want to listen you. I want to listen more questions.
Ada pertanyaan lain sebelum, kalau nggak ada mungkin bisa ngobrol santai habis itu. Huh? Yeah. So no more question, and I think we can just start having this informal conversation if you want to ask you.
I have one more question. So, what is the biggest threat to the freedom of expression here in Indonesia?
The biggest
Threat.
Ancaman terbesar untuk kebebasan berekspresi. It's the cyber law.
It's the cyber law. Okay. So the cyber law, what they can do against you?
They can criminalize you for
defamation too.
There's I think 4 bukan bills, apa namanya itu, articles that will criminalize you.
If you open our website or if you visit?
No, not that.
Okay, it's more like if you publish something.
Post something.
So
or
if
distribute.
Oh, distribute. Okay. So if you store, nobody will know that you are visiting that website, or if you are making a comment, or if you're sharing a test, or if you're sharing something. So Tor is anonymity and gives back your privacy. So to this biggest threat here, if you use Tor, you're going to be okay. So that's how Tor is so easy and to use, and the level of security that you have, you are not going to find in other digital tool. Okay. So this is very important because many people will say, well, I don't need Tor, I have VPN, or I don't need Tor, I have ad blocks. And this is totally different from just other tools, okay? These other tools, they can help you, but one thing is anonymity, and the other is to block ads on your browser, okay? So if you are in an environment that's becoming hostile to human rights defenders, you need to use Tor, okay? So you are going it's going to help to protect your privacy. And this is happening in Brazil right now. Like many people were like, well, now we have just facets on the government, what we can do, you know? And basically, just use Tor. Is the first thing that you need to do is to make private all your information, because the government the government need to know who you are and what you are doing in the internet, so they can target you. So if they don't have this information, it's going to make more difficult to them to find you and to track you. So if more people start to use Tor now, you are going to protect all the human rights defenders in Indonesia and also other people around the world, because they need more people using Tor, so then we have an anonymous system and not a person in Brazil using Tor, okay? So I think that's it. Thanks. And if you have more questions, ask me. Thank you.
Ya, nanti kita bisa langsung ini aja ya. Dan saya cuma mau mengumumkan bahwa Purple Code salah satu yang fokus kami dalam melakukan digital security training. Sudah kami lakukan sudah bertahun-tahun. Dan memang seringkalinya beberapa tahun terakhir kami memang fokus biasanya organisasi yang kami latih. Tetapi kami juga bikin pelatihan setahun bisa sekali atau 2 kali pelatihan gratis untuk biasanya untuk individu. Nah, kalau teman-teman tertarik, stay tune aja, ikutin Instagramnya. Nanti kalau kita bikin digital security yang komprehensif ya, biasanya 3-5 hari, teman-teman bisa mendaftar, siapa cepat dia dapat. Kemungkinan tahun ini mudah-mudahan bulan Juni lah, sekitar bulan Juni. Terima kasih banyak, kita ngobrol-ngobrol santai aja, dan kebetulan udah pada makan kan, silakan. Terima kasih.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Very good presentation. Thank you. Nice.
Tapi ya.